Okay, so Samsung just dropped something and I genuinely don't know how to feel about it. Because just when we thought we had a rough idea of where Google was taking Aluminium OS, Samsung walks in with their own plans and now everything is up in the air again. Let me just talk you through this because it's actually worth paying attention to. So what even is Aluminium OS? Real quick for anyone who hasn't been following this, Google has been working on something called Project Aluminium for a while now. The basic idea is they want to build a proper laptop operating system using Android as the base, not ChromeOS. Something new, something that actually feels like a grown-up desktop experience. That's Aluminium OS, and for a while it felt like Google was quietly steering this thing toward a clean, unified launch, one platform, consistent across every device that runs it. Then Samsung entered the picture. What Samsung is cooking? A leak from Sam Mobile says Samsung is building 3 new Galaxy Book laptops running Android 17, a cheaper one, a mid-range one, and a proper flagship. They're loading these up with Galaxy AI features and a beefed-up version of Samsung DeX, which is their desktop-style interface that makes Android actually feel like a computer. And honestly, that part sounds great. Premium Android laptops from Samsung is the kind of thing the platform has needed for years. But here's the problem. The leak mentions Android 17, One UI 9, and Aluminium OS all at the same time without explaining how they actually connect. And that vagueness is doing a lot of damage right now, because it opens the door to some pretty different outcomes for Aluminium OS depending on what Samsung is actually planning. The 3 ways this could go. Samsung ignores Aluminium OS entirely. They just put Android 17 on a laptop, crank up DeX, and ship it. No Aluminium OS underneath. No Google Desktop Foundation, just Samsung doing their own thing independently. This would basically create 2 competing versions of what an Android laptop is supposed to be. Aluminium OS on one side, Samsung's DeX setup on the other. That's a fragmentation problem before Aluminium OS has even properly launched. And honestly, given how Samsung operates, this feels like the most likely scenario, which is not great. Samsung is actually an Aluminium OS partner. The optimistic read here is that these Galaxy Books are Aluminium OS devices, and One UI 9 is just Samsung's name for a handful of Galaxy apps and AI features sitting on top. If that's true, then Aluminium OS just landed a massive hardware partner right out of the gate. Premium devices, strong Samsung branding, real retail presence. That would be a genuinely strong start for Aluminium OS. Samsung skins Aluminium OS heavily. This is the one that feels most familiar and most uncomfortable. Google lets Samsung layer a thick One UI interface over Aluminium OS the same way manufacturers skin Android on phones. Technically, Aluminium OS is still there underneath, but you'd never know it. And if Samsung gets to do that, every other manufacturer will want the same freedom. Then Aluminium OS stops being a consistent platform and starts being a fragmented mess. ChromeOS worked because it looked and felt the same no matter who made the laptop. Aluminium OS needs that same consistency to work. If OEMs are allowed to bury it under their own software, that consistency is gone. Why this actually matters. Samsung making Android laptops is a good thing for the platform's credibility. Nobody's arguing against that. A flagship Galaxy Book running a proper desktop Android OS is exciting hardware. But Aluminium OS is at a really sensitive point right now. It needs OEMs moving in the same direction, not pulling in 3 different ones. The whole point of Aluminium OS is to avoid repeating the chaos that made Android tablets frustrating for so long. Inconsistent updates, bloatware, wildly different experiences depending on whose logo was on the lid. Google I/O in May 2026 should give us a much clearer picture of what Aluminium OS's roadmap actually looks like, and how much control Google is keeping over the platform. That's the moment where we find out whether Aluminium OS has a real plan behind it, or whether it's just going to be another open invitation for the Android ecosystem to fragment itself all over again. Either way, Samsung just made things a lot more interesting. Whether that's good for Aluminium OS, we'll find out soon enough.